Alright folks, here we are back with another drink. Now this one is a super shout out to my boy Chad, aka Chadosaurus Rex, aka the Chadmeister, aka Pimp Daddy Chadster. I'm not kidding, man. This guy hangs around with more hot chicks than, like, you know how Captain Caveman had like all sorts of fine trim hanging off of him? That's Chad, like times, I guess Chad times like 0.2. Like he's like Captain Caveman is 1/5 of Chad. Let's not concern ourselves with that too much. Now, he wanted to drink. He's turning 21. He's like, hey, Ted, what's really cool, super sweet, manly enough, obviously for Chad's muscular physique, and also, you know, kind of approachable, real interesting, mint julep. Here it is. Now this is a turn-of-the-century cocktail, and traditionally it was done in a pewter glass. Pewter, obviously, being, I don't know, somewhat poisonous. We now have other metals. This is a pure copper one, and yes, it's lacquered. I know raw copper is a little bit poisonous. I know what you're thinking. But, so the glass is the first appeal. There's a reason for this, and we're going to get to it. Second thing, of course, is the mint. Now what we're going to want to do is get a sprig, you know, a little bit taller than the glass, pull off all the bottom leaves. And I add a couple more in because I like it. And we're going to build this drink directly in the cup. The first thing you want to do is keep your pimp hands strong, Chad, and you want to smack the mint. Now this kind of releases the essential oils. One smack's good, but I put more in, whatever. If you don't have a muddler, I use the back of a wooden spoon, whatever. Just break it up a little bit. Now some recipes will tell you to use powdered sugar. I'm going to use regular table sugar. The reason being this, I'm not super concerned with how well it's going to dissolve, but I do want these nice crystals to go ahead and kind of act like blasting grit and break this mint leaves up for me. So kind of a sandpaper action, and you can probably even hear that action shot. So once you get that nice and broken up, then you're going to add a little bit of water, and pretty much you're going to just pulverize these leaves until it's kind of a sugary paste. Looks good, right? So we're going to add just a little bit of water and swirl that, stir it up. This is slower than using simple syrup. Trust me, it's worth it. The sweetness is going to depend entirely upon how much water you add, not quite so much how much sugar you add. And I know that's kind of counterintuitive, but really once the water hits saturation, it's not going to pull any more sugar out, and the rest of it's just going to stay in crystal form. Now I've got most of it, but there's still a couple of crystals sitting around in there. That's what we want. Then we're going to add crushed ice. The crushed ice does a couple of things. One, it gets this glass nice and frosty, which is why we use a metallic cup. Looks pimp, feels pimp, gets it nice and cold. Second reason, it kind of acts like a filter, keeps all of that mint paste from really hitting you in the face and getting in your teeth. And trust me, crushed ice. If you don't have a ice crusher or don't want to scrounge the bottom of the ice cube tray, put it in a Ziploc bag, smack that bee with a hammer. Careful you don't break the bag. Obviously, that would make a mess. Now I'm using Buffalo Trace, so you're going to top this up with bourbon, 6, 7, 8 ounces. You really can't use too much. The more you add, the more delicious. And then give that a stir. And now some recipes say to stir this for long enough. See, the glass is already frosting up. Like I say, super cold. Pretty good. Chad, you take your mint with the leaves on top and throw it in there. A little mint. Mint julep. Stir stick is optional. You can use a straw instead. The cup, however, is essential. Pimp Daddy Chad, happy birthday. That's what I'm talking about.